Oh hey Virtuafriend, good to see you again. I've been working on opening this shop and I'll have some good news later this week, don't worry. Now as far as snacks, we've got all the good stuff. Let me go help Mr. Redcorn real quick and I'll show you when I get back. I first heard of Chainsaw Man near the end of 2020. I must have been reading through 11 or so different manga at the time. I was escaping the twisted games of Gantz again, fighting frenzy frogs with Jagan, learning more about breathing forms and Demon Slayer, but I don't remember the first time I saw a panel from Chainsaw Man. I distinctly remember seeing the crew escape the devil in the hotel hallway. The detail and madness struck a chord with me, and I wanted to see more. No one was really talking about it. I hate being one of those typical, you gotta read the manga dweebs, but if my friends are gonna flip through any page, I wanted it to be the detailed art and heart of Chainsaw Man. I mean, the consequences were dire, the characters were unique, but they felt real, and it felt like nobody was safe. But before I bind myself into a spoiled-filled rant, don't worry. This is just the initial reaction to episode 1. Written and created by Tatsuki Fujimoto, Chainsaw Man first appeared in Weekly Shonen Jump on December 2018. Tatsuki may not sound familiar, but if you want to taste the style of his work, I highly recommend Fire Punch. You will be depressed and screaming from the push and pull between the weight of immortality and nothingness, but honestly, I still cannot recommend it enough. Chainsaw Man is set in a world where devils are born from human fears. Their power is based on how much people fear them. So subjects like guns and sharks are going to be more powerful than an ant or a devil dog. When a devil is killed, they're sent back to hell. But once they die in hell, they come back to Earth, and the cycle repeats again. Devils can sometimes inhabit the body of a dead human. They're known as fiends. They have more of a humanoid form, but they can still use their powers. They're mostly neutral or cooperative, and are known to work with devil hunters. Humanity can also battle renegade devils through contracts with other devils. Contracts can be created from an agreement like a pact, which includes a price. An example could be losing some form of freedom or a sacrifice anytime that power is used. Think of anytime you call for help, a chunk of your skin's eaten away by the devil. We pick up with the main character, Denji. Down on his luck, Denji is a younger man who sells his body parts to pay off his parents' debt with the Yakuza. With no end in sight, he and his loyal dog Pochita fight devils to make ends meet. The fun part about this dog is that he's actually a devil, who Denji uses as a chainsaw. Through a series of unfortunate events, Denji becomes part of the Public Safety Division. They're well-dressed devil hunters who work with fiends to protect society. If Denji looks familiar, it's probably because he's just like me meme, or the panel where he cries out, "I just want to feel some tits." It sounds like Loki hentai, but for those wondering, no. It's nowhere near High School of the Dead or Fire Force. This is honestly just a lonely boy who's never really experienced the woes of the world. Everyone can relate to him in some way or another. And also, yes, you can enjoy this without having to worry if someone's going to walk in and immediately see bouncing titties on the screen. If you've ever had a wishful thinking sandwich, you can relate to Denji. For those who don't know, a wishful thinking sandwich is 2 pieces of bread pushed together. While you're biting into it, you're wishing something was between the buns. Now on to the big elephant in the room, MAPPA. The studio has been destroying the standards set for the anime market. They just got one hit after another. They provided hits such as later seasons for Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, Kids on the Slope, Banana Fish, and tons more. You don't notice when something's mediocre. You notice when it's either amazing or terrible. I'm proud to say it looks like they delivered. I did look for odd CG or things seeming out of place. I mean, there were a few noticeable pieces and scenes, but when the action goes down, it's seamless and well animated. The other great part that makes the anime look so crisp is the depth of the scenes. The background's still detailed, but the way the characters are placed in the shot makes them pop so much more. You can definitely notice it when you watch the opening. The manga is fast-paced, and I was worried it was going to be hard to follow once it transitioned into an anime. For example, the Chisaki fight in My Hero was awesome in the manga, and I could not wait for the anime, but once I saw it, I was so let down. There were a few fights in the panels of Chainsaw Man. I remember having to flip through to make sure I wasn't missing anything, but so far the scenes look to be shot as if it were slower. You could take in what's happening while also experiencing the speed and weight of the physicality. The opening song Kickback by Kenshi Yonezu seemed to be out of place for the first few beats, but once the action ramps up, I was loving it. Seeing the public safety members living their lives outside of hunting was a plus. Denji and Power dancing at the end was a great addition. I cannot wait to see her pop up. After rewatching this episode though, I caught up on the big detail I missed in the opening. At first I was like, oh cool, they're bowling, that's cool. But then the quick scene of Kenobi turning into a tiny table, it reminded me of an old classic, Attack of the Tomatoes. Turns out I was right, and the entire opening is a tribute to classic media. I missed a lot when I went back through on Twitter, but here's some examples. Dante's Divine Comedy, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, No Country for Old Men are just to name a few. My personal favorite was Denji cleaning the bowling ball, just like the Jesus did in The Big Lebowski. I wonder if there's going to be more tributes in the anime, or if it's just for the opening. Overall, I'm excited for the series. Mappa looks to be handling the workload well, and the story beats are fluid. I guess only time will tell. All I know is, I'll be here waiting in the shop for each new episode to air. If there's any other anime you're looking forward to, definitely let me know. Next time you're around this part of town, don't be a stranger. And make sure you give Mr. Katsuya a pet before you go. See you next time, virtual friend.